Hey, what is going on, Geminis? Butch Tarot here. I'm going to do your 1 week read. It is a general read, so it may not resonate with everyone. It is for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and your Venus. For all you cross watchers, roles can be reversed. Always feel free to comment down below. Just a quick heads up. I've been sick the last few days. I've been, as a lot of you know, I quit smoking a while back. And for some reason, I guess it's normal to get sick more often. Just your body kind of cleansing itself, but it sucks. The only reason I tell you this is because if I cough during the video, I apologize. That's why I haven't done it in the last few days because I was really bad, but I feel like I'm better today. So, with all that being said, and that out of the way, let's get it. Universe, what message do we have for Gemini? Universe, spirits, and guides. What do we have for Geminis? When I was first shuffling, the reason I flipped a card is because I realized that one card had been flipped over the wrong way. So I put it back in the deck, not even thinking, and the first card that comes out was that card. So I guess it just wanted to be seen. And that's the devil. You know, I feel like there's been some turmoil, some chaotic energy, you know, and I feel like you feel kind of stuck in a situation, you know, not knowing which way to turn. You know, I feel like you're kind of at that crossroads. You know, on one hand, I feel like you have this incredible connection with someone. You know, this is someone that I feel like you've had a connection with for a while. But I feel like with this person, I feel like it's been a struggle. Like I said, I mean, I feel like you see a lot of potential with this person. That's why you're still here. That's why you're still part of this. You know, there's true potential with this person, and I feel like your intuition is telling you that. But what you're feeling and what you're seeing hasn't always matched up. And that's what causes the greatest conflict here is the fact that this person, it's almost like this person, they just, they get so close. They get so close to being exactly who you think they are. They get so close to showing you that you're right in thinking that. But then it's like once they get that close, and it's almost like for some reason it just kind of fades away. I mean, I feel like there's so many good things with this connection. I mean, with this person especially, I feel like you have a great friendship with this person. I feel like this person shows up for you. You know, they really show up for you. And I feel like that's rare. And that's something that we're holding on to. You know, you have this great friendship with this person. You have this person that truly cares about you, at least shows up. You know, they put in the work. I feel like the biggest problem is communication. And for a Gemini, that can be a huge problem. You know, I feel like this person isn't completely, they're not what you call open. You know, like they show up for you, they put in the work, they do things for you, but it's like you're not really sure where you stand with this person. I mean, there's a friendship, yes, we talked about that. Then there's the Knight of Wands. So I feel like there's a lot of physical energy between you and this person. So I feel like that part of it's great. Like I said, the friendship. I feel like you can talk to this person about anything, but I feel like when you're talking about something real, that's where we lack communication. You know what I mean? Like you can talk to this person about anything. This person makes you laugh. This person can say things that, you just understand. You just get it. You just get each other. And that's why it seems so perfect sometimes. Like you're perfect for each other. But then there's those times where this person kind of goes cold and we kind of have this self-imposed prison energy with that Eight of Swords. It's like they're afraid to be truly vulnerable. They're afraid to truly open up to you. That's what it feels like. And it's off-putting. Like I said, Geminis are communicators. They need you to communicate with them. And if you're not communicating with them, then what are you doing? I feel like there's so much going on between you and this person, and there's so much good. There really is a lot of good here. Like, I see this incredible connection between you and this person, like friendship, passion. I mean, there's love. We have the Two of Cups and the Lovers. That Gemini energy. The Two of Cups is a lifelong connection. That Lovers is that strong connection, that deep connection, that firefighter love. I call it the firefighter love because when everybody else is running out, when shit hits the fan, the house is on fire, everybody running out, the firefighter is the one that runs back in for you. They don't give up on you. They fight for you. Not an actual firefighter. I mean, for some of you, maybe it is. But like I said, with this person, I mean, I feel like the only issue is the communication. Like, let's talk about real shit. I mean, this person is on the same page with what I'm seeing. They're on the same page. I mean, I feel like this person's been screwed over before, so I feel like there is some major trust issues. I feel like you may have some as well, kind of causing this conflict. Not you causing the conflict, but each other's respectable trust issues. Like I said, I mean, I feel like it's a fear of making a mistake with that Five of Swords, but it's also, it's kind of ingrained. I mean, I feel like this person's been screwed over. And like I said, I feel like you've been screwed over as well. And it's almost like in every relationship there comes a point in time when we say, okay, listen, where is this going? And if it's not going where I want it to go, then why am I part of it? But this, for every intent and purpose, it seems like it's going where you want it to go. But it's just not getting over that hill. You know what I mean? You can see it on the horizon, but it's like the car stopped. You're heading up a hill. Just over that horizon is everything you ever wanted. All of a sudden the car breaks down and you're stuck. Now, do you put in the work to push it? Or you put in a neutral and roll back down the hill and go another way? That's kind of like where we're at with this. Now, with this person, they're not unaware of what they're doing. They're aware. And I feel like they know it's time. And I feel like it's time for the talk. It's time for this person to open up to you, and I feel like that's exactly what they do and what they're gonna do. I mean, I feel like this person's not keeping anything from you anymore because they want to be with you. They want to move forward with you. They want a future with you. They've just been holding back because they're scared. There is that fear that if they become vulnerable, and I put a quote about this today. Check that out because it's really, vulnerability is a huge thing. And we all think it's a weakness, but it's not a weakness. The only way to become strong is to be aware, and the only way to become aware is to be vulnerable. Like, knowing your weaknesses doesn't mean hiding them away. It means working on them. We can't just store it away and hope it goes away, because it won't. We'll talk about that in a minute. We have the Star card, that Aquarius energy. I feel like this person, and with the Queen of Swords, is that very directed on its energy. I feel like this person, I see a lot of big changes in your connection. And one of the big changes is I feel like this person finally opening up. Now, I don't see it happening super quick, but the more and more this person will open up, and the more they do, the more it gives you permission, and it's almost like unconscious permission to open up yourself. And I feel like that's going to make your connection with this person even more stronger. It's going to make the connection more clear. Because I feel like there's a lot going on between you and this person, and it just hasn't been clear. Because all the information isn't out there. It's like giving somebody a half a page. Giving somebody a page out of a book and ripping off half of it and saying, okay, figure out what the whole page means. Unlikely you're going to be able to do it. You may be able to come close. You may have your speculations. But, I feel like the foundation between you and this person has already been built. And I feel like this just changes the way you see it. You have that strong foundation, like I said, with that Lovers, that Two of Cups, that lifelong connection, that friendship, that passion. I feel like this is moving forward. I feel like it has nowhere else to go but forward. You were meant to move forward with this person. And it hasn't been easy. But anything that's good in life is never really easy, is it? Like I said, I see a lot of big changes coming, and some of those big changes are, going to clarify a lot of this connection. Sometimes we're drawn to people and we don't even know why, and there's moments where we want to walk away, and we're thinking, okay, maybe I should just walk away. Maybe this is all I'm going to get from this person. Maybe I can't trust this person. There's so many voices in our head telling us all these different things, but in reality, there's only one voice you should listen to. But sometimes it's hard to decide which voice it is that we listen to. Yes, I may be crazy because I have voices. No, I do, but I know, anyway, I don't know why I'm defending that. Sometimes we just, I think everybody's willing to put in the work for the real one. I think deciding who the real one is sometimes can be very gray area. With this person, I feel like they truly have some deep feelings for you. And, they've been holding them back too long. And I feel like a lot of what this person has to say is a lot of the things you want to hear. It just shows your connection being even that much stronger. We end this with the Nine of Cups, filling up all your cups. You're getting all the things that you want. Again, for some of you, when you're in a relationship and you're only getting this, this, and this, but you're missing out on this area. Now, sometimes we think we can get that from the person so we can get everything we want. But sometimes it's like, how long do I hold on before I give up on that? How long do I hold on before I realize that I'm not going to get that from this person, and I need that? I want all my cups filled by the person I'm going to spend my life with. Especially with Geminis. Geminis don't usually fall in love easily. But when they do, they tend to do it real hard. They love hard. I know that from experience. My best friend and my partner. My best friend, he's a Gemini. He's a June Gemini. My Rose she's a May Gemini. So trust me when I say this, I understand Geminis, and you know, loyalty next to none. When they fall for you, when they connect with you, they're loyal to you. And they want it all back though. You know, they deserve it all back. Anyone does. With this person, we have Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, Cancer, and Pisces. I'm getting some Virgo as well. Some Virgo energy in there. You know, that's the thing. Sometimes it's hard, and we fall victim to it. We want to tell our person things, but there's this part of us that we're listening to that's the wrong message. You know, that, I mean, I've dealt with that in my own personal life. You know, being with a Gemini, we've been together for 16 years. It hasn't always been like an easy walk, you know. But I wouldn't have wanted to do it with anybody else. Like, I don't regret any of it. Because all of it, even the bad stuff, I don't regret it, because all of it together got us where we're at now. You know, it's perspective, and I'm a Sagittarius, like most of you know, and I'm all about perspective and being, you know, an optimist. You know, I try to get the silver lining in everything, and you know, sometimes when we're in a relationship, there are points, and I've been at that point, and I'm sure she has as well, where it's like, I'm not getting, we both have trust issues from our past, from our, and not just in relationships in general. I mean, and not in just romantic relationships, but in relationships in general. And when you have trust issues, you have two people with trust issues, sometimes it can be it's a lot of work. You know, sometimes you're with someone and you're thinking, okay, is this all I'm going to get from this person? And like, how long do I hold on before I realize that's all I get? You know, you can be with someone that, you know, they make you laugh, you have fun with them, you have a great sex life, you know, you really just enjoy your time with them. But maybe you don't feel as intimate as maybe you want, or maybe you don't feel like like they don't love you as much as you'd want, you know, or they don't show it as much as you want. Or maybe you're with someone and all the other things, and maybe the sex life sucks. Maybe, you know, they're boring, you know, and it's all these things, and you want to find the perfect person that fits all, you know, those boxes. And there's major boxes and there's minor boxes. Like, don't sweat the micro things. You know, maybe you don't like the same food. That's okay. That happens. Maybe you like different things. That's okay. It happens. Me and Rose, we like a lot of different things. But we give each other the time and space to do our own thing. We don't, you know, I don't try to force her to do my things, and she doesn't try to force me to do her things. And I feel like that's one of the things that really helps us, because we have our time apart, but we always come back together. You know, we're not clingy with each other. We allow each other to breathe. But as we get older and as we, you know, move on, I start to see more things, and I feel like saying I've been with her 16 years doesn't mean I always trusted her, and doesn't mean she always trusted me. And that's the thing with a lot of people get wrong. You know, my honest opinion is, when you trust is something that you earn, and it's something that you continue to maintain. You don't just do something for someone. Like, I can't just go do something for you where I got your back and then live our rest of our life on that one incident. I got to consistently always have your back. You need to know that you can always trust me, not just trust me in a certain situation. And that stuff you got to learn. And the vulnerability thing is something that we needed to learn too. It's hard to be vulnerable, but the thing I was thinking about the other day was like when I was playing hockey. This is my example. When I was young, I used to play hockey. My coaches didn't always emphasize the good things I did, but they always emphasized the bad things I did. They wanted me to be aware of it, and they wanted to help me fix it so that I had a complete game. And it's like that with us as people. Find what your weaknesses are. That's what we work on. And if we're not willing to admit our weakness, if we're not self-aware, then how can we fix it? Because I want to be the best person I can be at the end of the day. I want to fix what's broken, and I want to make what's better. Got so far off topic. Be good. Take care. Stay safe.